It worked?
Yes, so we should
Okay.
be recording. So I will let Mandy start.
Oh,
So
this one's going to bed. Good night.
good night.
Okay, so I was introduced to this through Brandy. Brandy and I went to little school together, right from kindergarten. Um, I started taking it to try and get healthier with our family. So I thought this would be a good way to do it. Um, we have been taking it about 8 months. So the kids and I, and actually, if anybody knows Garth, knows that this would never happen, but he started about a week ago. So this is amazing. He said he's feeling better. I have somebody, he's feeling more energy, and same with us. So more energy, we're craving better foods. We yeah, just feeling better digestion. Won't go into that, but yeah. So that's about it. I decided to start selling so that well, for the discounts we could have our products because they're amazing, so a little bit cheaper, and to see if we can help other people, other families.
Great. I want to thank you guys all for coming on and Mandy for being brave and, speaking. I know it can be so hard and we were just talking earlier that it does not come naturally to speak to people and it kind of becomes a learned tool, I guess, that we have. My name's Brandy. Like Mandy said, we have known each other for a long, long, long time, over 30 years. And I'm just really happy that she, took that step for her and her family. And, there's no pressure in tonight. We're just simply sharing, and we have lots and lots of free resources as well. So don't feel like, any pressure with tonight. I am going to, well, I'll just say a little bit about me. So I'm Brandy. I'm a mom of two teen boys, Preston and Jackson. Preston is turning 20 this month, and Jackson is 16. So I have old kids, and I was introduced to this product about 6 years ago. It's almost
The
6 years,
ones that
6 years
go in here.
and about a month. And
Like not this. They're in the.
sorry.
Yeah, in the.
Um, so it was about 6 years ago, and I went to an event like this. It was actually sort of in live and sort of in Zoom because it was the middle of a snowstorm. And we started talking about hormones and antioxidants, and that really resonated with me. I am a medical esthetician by trade, and antioxidants was always something that I recommend to my clients topically. And I had seen a lot of different nutraceuticals come in and out of our business, and I hadn't seen anything quite like this. It was completely safe for children. It was just whole foods and nothing else, no added isolated vitamins. And um, so I'm an impulse buyer. So I bought it all and I went home and gave it a try. But what I really didn't know was how it was going to help me. I had sprained my neck the summer before and I was living in chronic pain. I had been out of work for about 3 months and I was finding, everyday chores a struggle. And I started taking the products, and after about 2 weeks, I felt like I was walking, like, it'll seem so silly, but like walking on air almost. Like I felt like my joints were moving more freely. I was having less inflammation, and I um, got to stop taking all of the pain medication I was taking, including the Advils. I was taking a lot of different drugs to keep me going through the day. So I completely got off of that and I haven't been taking it since. So it's been 6 years. The only time I take an Advil is if I have some kind of um, self induced problem, like from drinking or something, I might take an Advil, but usually I just take extra product before I go to bed and I seem to be okay. My youngest son, Jackson, he is my bubble child. He had eczema all over his body from the time we got home. He then started getting asthma attacks. We were in and out of the hospital all the time. He was on inhalers, nebulizers. He had such terrible skin that he was always cracked and bleeding. And just the October before, we had a really scary emergency room visit where we were in the hospital for over 24 hours and couldn't get his breathing under control. And because the company gifts us free for children with every adult order, my kids had been able to take this. So we have not been to the doctor in 6 years. He has not been once. His eczema is gone, his asthma is gone. And, I'm not the only person with a story like this. There are so many other mothers who have been very lucky to get some of those things under control. And really, it's because we had no idea that that was an autoimmune disease, and that you can help your body by feeding it what it needs. And if a doctor would have told me that, I would have gone onto it a whole lot sooner. So I'm just going to share my screen, and I have a few slides, and make this big. Whoops. So, the reason that we're all here today is because we are inspiring healthy living around the world. And it has become my passion to share with other moms and other women and some men really what it is that is driving us to, share this with as many people as possible. So I just want to make sure that there's no income claims, there's no health claims. It's not for everyone, but anybody can do this. The harder and smarter you work, the more you can earn. So whether or not you're here to just hear about the product or to hear about the business opportunity, I'm just going to touch a little bit on that and not a whole lot. But the Juice Plus is not about curing any specific conditions or diseases. So it's simply a healthful plant-based nutrition, highly concentrated to deliver a powerful nutritional punch, supported by over 20 years of independent clinical research. And everybody's, experience might vary. So depending on what kind of health conditions you have going on, whether or not you're being consistent, that is where, the proof is in the pudding if you take it, really. So we are living in an unhealthy world, really, these days. And there's a lot of environmental toxins. And, right now with COVID being so exposed to all of the things that they're spraying us with when we walk in and out of stores, making us put sanitizers on our hands. And even our kids going to school, we actually have tower gardens, growing systems in some of the schools. And they have told us that kids are not allowed to eat the food that's being grown there because of the spray that they're spraying in the schools. So, we are being exposed to a whole lot more than we used to be. And, just as women, we could be putting all kinds of stuff on our bodies that we aren't even really, noticing the amount of toxic chemicals we can be using. So 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease, and 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. And I know that so many people have been touched by cancer in one way or another, whether it's somebody in their immediate family or somebody you know. 1 in 3 will have diabetes, and 1 in 5 children are obese. Children are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. So, none of this is to scare you or anything, but, I think we can all agree that we know somebody who might have some of these issues. And examples of environmental toxins would be pollution, the water contaminants, pesticides, prescriptions, chemicals, skin products, hair products, and plastics. And we use plastics to eat. We use plastics to drink out of. Our water is obviously polluted. If we live in town, they're putting chemicals in our water to treat it, to keep harmful bacteria out of it. and just even skincare products. So working in the aesthetic world, I was exposed to a lot of cleaning products. We have to sterilize everything. And what I actually started to have happen was I got lumps in my breasts, and I thought, that maybe it was cancer. So anyways, I had to go for a screening, and they didn't find anything. But after being away from my job for 6 months, they went away. So I was so exposed to toxic chemicals that we were using in the workplace just for sanitization, that it was starting to build up in my body. And I am extremely I started to develop problems with any fragrance, different soaps. I would get allergic reactions, and even from into preservatives that are put in foods, because I was just built up with so much toxicity. So food quality is decreasing. More than 50% of Americans eat processed foods. There's preservatives, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones. It's not as common in Canada as the US, but however, it is there. GMOs, less nutrition, pesticides, trans fats, and artificial colors. And, broccoli can lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you purchase it. And especially living in a colder climate, we are not getting fresh produce. Everything is being shipped here from other countries. And of course, it has to be picked, well ahead of time before they can ship it to us. And, really foods get its peak, at peak ripeness is when it has most of its nutrition in it. And, with soil qualities depleting and the amount that they have to turn over crops, that it just doesn't carry as much nutritional value as it used to. And I grew up on a farm. So, I know how things work, and, everybody needs to make a living, of course. And, but this is the reality of our food. And, we need fruits and vegetables every single day, 10 to 13 servings, the size of your fist. My friend Crystal's always like, the size of your fist is a serving. I can tell you, I might have eaten one fist of fruit or vegetables today. And it's really hard in the winter for me. And that's where, this came in and how I seen a benefit to it. But, if you have athletes, children who are in sports, if you work out, then you need even more than that, just that average 10 to 13 servings. So why we need so many now, they actually changed the nutritional guide because our produce is picked, before it's nutritionally developed. It's transported thousands of miles. 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings. So like I said, I ate one. I don't know how many you guys ate, but probably, unless you're like a full-time grazer and you eat all day, it's almost impossible to get that much in. And we don't get enough of the variety. So, creatures of habit, or what we have available to us, right? So we end up eating always the same foods. And multivitamins versus whole foods. So 70% of Americans are trying to fill the gap with a multivitamin. And a multivitamin has few isolated nutrients. An apple has approximately 10,000 phytonutrients working in synergy. And research shows that an isolated vitamin may do more harm than good. And they've actually shown research showing hard tablets stuck in people's intestinal tract when they do x-rays of their bowels. So, it's usually, if you take a multivitamin and then you go to the washroom, you'll see you pee yellow. That's most of that vitamin coming out because your body didn't recognize it and fully absorb it. And when, you see 10,000 phytonutrients in an apple, if you think of an orange or where they're getting their vitamin C, typically they only get one part of that and not the whole thing. So, you're not getting everything that food has to offer. You're just getting like one isolate from it. And this is an example of a vitamin label. And over here, you're seeing that this is of the 10,000 phytonutrients that they have studied and found in an apple, which is crazy. But if you think of plants in their environment, all together, it thrives, it grows as a whole. Once part of it is removed, the thing decays and, it starts to go to the bugs. So that is where Juice Plus comes in. And this is a variety of whole foods, vine ripened to peak of ripeness. It's picked, ground down into a slurry. They remove the juice, and the sugars, and they dehydrate it at a very low temperature so that it preserves all the nutrients inside of there. And then each capsule is specifically picked with all of the ingredients that are in it, because those foods work in synergy for optimal absorption. So they are 100% bioavailable, which means your body fully absorbs it. We know what to do with food. We don't leave anything, to pee out. We just use it all up. And this is a picture of everything that's in there. So, I don't eat all of this every single day. And I probably never eat mangoes. I do like dates. But it's not, too often that you eat all of these foods. And we have lemon peel in there, and that is where you're getting your folate. So if you're a woman who wants to get pregnant or is pregnant, you can take these products and it's perfectly safe. And you're able to get your folate instead of the synthetic folic acid. So that is a really good thing to have in here. But we have our cherries, apples, beets, peaches, pineapples, and they take that whole pineapple and grind the whole thing down. So normally when I eat a pineapple, I remove the core and I eat, the rest of it, you take off the outside. But your core is actually where you have that bromelain, and that is a really high anti-inflammatory. And, one of the only places you can get it naturally. And then you have your broccoli, your cabbage, your cruciferous vegetables, spinach, tomato, beets, and then your artichokes, blackberries. Elderberry is huge right now. Everybody's taking elderberry for, illness prevention, that there's this big thing about it. Yes, it does help to fight, cold and flu, but so does a variety of a lot of other things. And these are our plant-based omegas. We are the only plant-based omega blend on the market in the world. It's 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. We get our omega from, we skip the fish, so straight from algae and different plants. And it is cold pressed. So a lot of times when if you're eating a fish oil and it's a gel cap, they use heat to put that in the capsule, and then the fish oil is rancid. It's not actually good anymore, so you should not be eating that if you can get it from a liquid, but it doesn't last very long. So if you can get, it from a plant source, it is going to be a lot better, and it is fully preserved in here. You can even put it on your face as a mask to help with your skin, or if you have eczema or your kids have eczema, or even a bug bite. It helps with inflammation, brain health, heart health, so many different things. And these are our whole food shakes. They're delicious. They literally taste like vanilla cake to me. You can cook with it. You can, have it in a smoothie bowl. You can have it plain. I like mine plain with water, but they are high in protein. We get ours from plant protein. We use a water wash soy. And I know there's a lot of stuff around soy that, different people have heard, but soy is actually a very high cancer prevention food. And if you get it from a good quality, non-GMO, and it is low processed, so it actually preserves the nutrients of that food, then you get the benefits from it. We got pea protein, ancient grains, from millet, amaranth, quinoa, broccoli, alfalfa, radish. And if you can get one of these into your kids in the morning, that's a pretty good way to sneak food in that they don't even know that you're getting into them. And it's just a couple of pictures. This is our tower garden. It is a aeroponic growing system. You can grow it inside or outside, so grow all year round. It uses 80% less water, 90% less space, 30% more yield, 30 times faster, safe and nutritious. This thing is easy to use. I went away to the cottage for a week and came home and it was still live. So if you're like not a green thumb, it's super easy to keep alive. If you like to eat, greens all year round, it's really easy to grow greens. You can grow anything that doesn't that's not a tree or a bush or needs to be in dirt, like a rooted vegetable. So they're super amazing. There are talks specifically on these, or Mandy has access to videos where she can share you more information around the tower garden. But especially in cold climate, it is really great to be able to grow your own food. And the cost of produce is a little bit ridiculous sometimes. So this way you're able to save money on that. This is Crystal. This is her before and after, but this is part of our community group, our collective health hub. And we have different plans all the time, and you can join us. Right now we're doing the reset, but we add in our plant nutrition. We show you healthy snacks. We have meal guides. We have everything. I'm actually typing up a ebook so that it is, easy to follow, a guide so that you know what to do. And this is our recipe book. This is Emma's story. We have so many great ladies, and everybody has a different story, but seeing her months ago or a year ago and seeing her now, she's like glowing. She's a different person. And, sometimes it just takes a little bit of an easy button to help you motivate yourself to do other things and really take the time for you. This is Tamara's story. She lost 70 pounds in 6 months, and this is not a weight loss program. This is a health program. I just want to make that clear. But when your body is getting what it needs, it's going to do what it needs to do, whether that's lose weight or gain weight. I have 2 skinny little children, and it doesn't make them skinnier. If anything, it, hopefully will bulk them up a little bit because they don't eat. And if they do, they eat crap because their mother doesn't know anything. And this is Kelly's story. And she started last summer. She was feeling run down, tired, and overweight. And, she made the leap to start the products and with her children. And she, seen her friend posting, she decided to order. And, she has felt amazing. Her hair is growing better. She's starting to drink more water. She has more energy. And that's pretty common. And this is the Soulful Collective. This is us as a community, a group that Mandy is part of. And this is just some of the ladies that we have in our community from different trips we've got to go on. We're not traveling right now, but we've got to go to some really fun places. And just past, we started our own Canadian conference. So hopefully we'll at least get to start traveling through Canada for conference again. And our business model is unique. I don't need to go too much into this, but really, if you want to save money on your own products, it's only $52. If you want to do this part-time, if you want to do it full-time, I left my job last March and it was the best decision I ever made. I'm glad that I am gone. And really, I've been blessed with this because we have been an essential service. We share whole foods and, growing systems. So we were deemed essential. So we never did shut down. We kept going. And, our product line is very small. You can work full-time, part-time. There's no inventory, no overhead. Head office does all of our work. They make our, office online. They kind of do all our shipping and receiving. And all we do is this. And we get to call this work, showing up and kind of chatting with people. So that's pretty fun. When you get into upper leadership, you can get business incentive bonus and a full corporate benefits package. So your medical benefits for you or your family, as well as tuition reimbursement. If your children are going to school, they will give you a % of your money back to, help with education, whether it's you or your children or your spouse. And that's it. So I just want to leave it with that. And there's no downside to a side hustle. There's only a benefit of building more than one source of income. And a side hustle is the new job security. I am going to stop sharing my screen. And, I really want to thank you guys all for coming. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Mandy and we can answer anything, whether it's specific on the product or our community. If you just want to join our community, if you want free resources for health webinars or cookbooks or any of that, we can definitely share that as well. And really, we just are, our number one thing is education and building community and awareness and trying to have fun. And that's pretty much it. So I don't have anything left. Mandy, do you want to pop on? I think you have to unmute.
There, unmute. No, just wanted to say thank you guys for coming, and I hope you learned something that you enjoyed. Brandy did an awesome job. I still love listening to it every time, I think.